one thing I enjoyed about this movie is the ability to show all the different flaws with the different sides of this. So for the American government, you have the CIA agent, and he's talking about how we overthrow governments. We overthrow one ruler, and then we have control of the whole government. Okay, so there you have that. Then you have this king, the Black Panther, and he's having to accept any legitimate challenge from anyone. So what happens when he lives to be 60 years old and then some 30-year-old royal descent comes along and challenges him? There's a very big flaw with having to defeat someone physically, the rule of strength. Whoever has the most strength is the ruler. There's a huge flaw to that type of thinking.
Well, I think the way the movie dealt.
And aligning whoever has the most physical strength to aligning that to say, okay, they're the most brave. Because nobody can fight them, that means everybody else is cowards.
Right. Well, that's true.
Now there's that side of things. The flaw of the flaw of binary thinking. Will you accept the challenge? Yes. Okay, good. You won't accept it, then you're a coward.
Right.
Okay, so there's that flaw that it presents. Now the other flaw is, like you were talking about before, this character, the Killmonger character. He's grown up in the slums. He's been poor all his life. He's had all these things happen, and he has all of these. He takes all of these things and uses it as a reason to go out and kill people. And he takes all those things and uses it as a rationalization for all the bad things that he does. So every side of the machine has flaws, and those flaws are very obviously presented in the movie, and I like that. I like that every side has flaws. That it's it's so effortlessly does that.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely does. I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. There's just so many different sides to that. So, but like, yeah, when you're talking about Killmonger and you're talking about T'Challa, yeah, so it does show the flaw of tradition, which is traditions can be exploited, right? Especially if they're, um, you know, based on physical strength.
Right.
Um, but I think the way the movie dealt with that was it's once you became king, I don't think you had to defend it.
Well, he was already king.
Well,
He
yeah,
didn't. So technically, he didn't have to accept that. But then he would have been seen as a coward. So it doesn't really matter if he had to accept it or not. The fact is, if he refused it, then he would be seen as a coward.
well, I think so this is what I think. I think that there was a that ceremony where the whole society of Wakanda was invited to go see the match, the fighting, and any of the tribes were able to challenge and try to be king. But because Michael B. Jordan, the Killmonger, never didn't have a chance to challenge, he still afforded the opportunity to challenge because all the other tribes had declined.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if that's right or not, but
Okay.
I'm just trying to say this is what the movie said,
So
or this is how the
that's
movie
one
kind of
that's
dealt with
one
it.
that's one thing that I liked about it. Something else that I thought was interesting about this movie is one, I don't really expect that much out of, like, I wasn't expecting it to be that good. I said that before.
Yeah, you expect a
But
popcorn
I
movie.
expected a popcorn movie. I didn't expect all these serious, relevant themes to be presented in this movie. And I also wouldn't expect all of these issues to be presented. It's like saying oh, there's these flaws with this side of the argument, this flaws with this side, this side, this side, this side.
Yeah.
It's not saying, it's not this binary type of, oh, the good guys and all the bad guys, and that, it's not like that.
Right.
Which I like that. I like that realistic way that they presented these issues. Now, one other thing that I thought was interesting about this is, generally speaking, when films are made catering a group of people or around a certain group of people, sometimes I find those films to be forced or not genuine somehow. Like, say, for instance, a movie, like a normal movie about black culture or a normal movie about Christianity, for instance. I feel like it's like a group of people get together and they have a chance to be heard, and they're making a film for the sake of having their voices be heard rather than focusing on the things that make a story strong, like a strong performances by the actors, strong plot lines, strong characters. And it seems like sometimes when movies are made, they can be used as a platform to get certain ideas across rather than presenting a very strong, good film.
Right. Well,
So
this movie is a drama.
this movie is a drama.
I mean, it's not just a drama. It's like in the Greek. Oh, it's almost like in the tragic,
Right.
Greek drama. It's almost like in the same format.
Right.
Where the only difference is that in a Greek drama, Killmonger would have been the main character. We would
Right.
have followed Killmonger's story.
Right. But okay, so just to say this another to say this, a lot of movies have a lot of movies have white characters and then like one or two minority characters. And this movie was almost all black characters, almost all minority characters, and then one main white character, the CIA agent. And I didn't find that to be forced at all. Like, I didn't think it was a black culture movie where they wanted to have all the actors be black and then just one actor who's white. I didn't feel like that was forced at all. I just thought it happened to be about a group of people, these Africans, and there just also happened to be one other character that was Caucasian. So like I didn't feel like any of the choices that they made were forced as far as that goes. Another thing about this would be the Christian or the modern faith-based films. A lot of times I find those films to be contrived. Like they have a certain list of all of these different points that they want to get across in their movie, and they're writing the script around these points that they want to make. And I was really impressed by their handling of all that.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler and whoever the writer was, Joe Robert Cole. Man, they did masterful job putting this very complicated drama together.
Right.
Extremely complicated. Like it would have been so easy to get caught up in one thread of the story or one theme of the story,
Right.
but it wasn't.
And part of what I think had to do with that was this was a very big budget movie. So a lot of times these groups seem like they want to make a film, but they don't have the money that they need to spend on making a really great film. And I think a big part of making that a really strong story is the screenwriter had a great understanding of what it is what are the human elements that's going to make a great story, because transcending race, transcending religions, transcending ages, times, there are these core elements of humanity
Well, there's so many timeless themes.
that cause a great story. And this story had so many timeless themes
Yeah.
in it. The theme of the king, the good man trying to be a good king, I mean, just look at Solomon. His request was that he would have wisdom that he could best reign over his people. So there's a theme right there. That's a timeless theme. And that's not a theme that really is dealt with in a lot
Right.
of movies.
Or the theme of the son meeting up to his father's legacy.
Right,
It's another timeless theme.
right,
Um, there's the theme of um, rejecting tradition
right,
and doing your own, finding your own path. Um, there's a modern theme. I don't know if it's a timeless theme, but it's the main love interest that Lupita Nyong'o plays. I forget her name in the story. Nakia. She's very much an important element in getting T'Challa to consider doing things that don't just benefit Wakanda as a country.
right.
And in a way, in a weird way, so this is another interesting element. In a weird way, she's kind of aligned with Killmonger, right?
She is aligned with Killmonger in that way.
Yeah.
Because Killmonger wants to go out and conquer the world.
But she doesn't, right?
Well, she says she doesn't.
Yeah, she says she
She
doesn't.
says she doesn't.
But she
But
does use violence.
I think that practically speaking, that would translate her mission and Killmonger's mission. Practically speaking, would be
Yeah,
very
well, I
similar.
want to say that they're opposite sides of the same coin. Is I was saying that Lupita Nyong'o's character Nakia and Michael B. Jordan's character Killmonger are kind of two sides of the same coin. I don't think that she would necessarily use violence, though she does use violence to try to help those girls. But you don't know if she was going to use violence necessarily. But she stops Black Panther from killing that young boy, which is another way they masterfully introduce this real world element where in Africa you have these young children soldiers that get recruited. They're like kidnapped and they're recruited to do this horrible stuff.
Yeah, so it's another real life issue.
Yeah. And it's just like
It's just like a little element
it's a little
of the whole
gold
film.
nugget.
Right. But just the acknowledgement of it is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Like they would acknowledge that, okay, they would acknowledge this. Now they would acknowledge about the CIA. Now they would acknowledge about the him playing on all these people's insecurities and fears. Now they would acknowledge the theme of I'm a king for my people. I take care of my own people, and the rest of the world is not my responsibility.